All right, so prep work if you want to do on paper is going to be on page 41, but I'm going to be reviewing questions 1 and 2, okay? So let's take a look at this. GH has a midpoint, hint, this is a midpoint of 3, 2. And now H has an endpoint of 7, 10, okay? So the question is, they want you to determine the coordinates of A if H is already 7, 10 and the midpoint is 3, 2. This is extremely important for us to know, okay? Because this is telling me then that I had to actually solve for the endpoint, right? So I'm gonna write this down. Solve for endpoint. So if I know that I'm solving for the endpoint, the setup is completely different. And this is where a lot of you guys are gonna get things wrong, right? So the setup is that I don't know what A is. So I'm gonna label it X, Y, right? That's A right there. But what I do know is that if I take the average of the X's, I'm gonna get 3. So that means X plus 7 divided by 2 is gonna get me 3, right? And then if I take the average of the Y's, Y plus 10 is gonna get me 2. So Y plus 10 is going to get me, y plus 10 divided by 2, the average of the y's, is going to get me 2. Okay, so that's the setup. All you have to do now is just cross multiply to solve, okay? I don't know why these graphs are here. I guess you could use the graph to graph it. But now you get x plus 7 is equal to 6 if you cross multiply. And you subtract 7 on both sides, x is equal to -1. If you cross multiply right here, you get y plus 10 is equal to 4. Simply subtract 10 on both sides, right? Y is equal to -6. Once you're here, you go back and you answer the question. The coordinate is very simple, right? The endpoint coordinate is -1, -6. Done. Super easy. Now, let's take a look at question number 2. M is the midpoint of M is the midpoint of Ln. The coordinates of M are 3, 6, and the coordinates of N are 9, 3. Okay, so this question is actually, again, asking for determine the coordinates of coordinate L. So actually, I want you guys to try this on your own for homework because the setup is going to look exactly like this. I'm not going to give you the answer. Make sure you try it on your own. You are looking for the endpoint because they already give you the midpoint of M, okay? So you're solving for the endpoint here. This one, however, does require you guys to just solve for the midpoint, right? Determine the coordinates of M, the midpoint. So let's take a look at this. Right here, because they give you this and this, you're just gonna take the average of it, right? So 0.75 plus -0.25. If you have two numbers, you just divide it by 2, and that's your x's. And then the other one is -1.25 plus -1.75, and you divide it by 2. So let's take a look at this. This plus this is going to give you 50 cents, or 0.50, and 0.5, here, actually, I'm going to write it like this, 0.50 over 2. And then -1.25 divided by -1.75 is going to give me about -3, right? And then I'm going to divide it by 2. And from here, 50 cents divided by 2 is going to give me 25 cents, or 0.25. And then -3 divided by 2 is going to give you -1.5. And so this is it. This is the coordinate, okay? It's very straightforward. If you know the fundamental concept, you're good to go, okay?